Good YouTubing, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the review, plus checking out the channel. We really do appreciate that. So what we're going to talk about today is DHALSIM from Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers, and this will be the 1/6 scale action figure, and it will be priced at around $24.99 plus shipping. You can pick it up at places like Big Bad Toy Store or Earth Entertainment. So guys, looking at the figure, we know we've seen this guy come out multiple times from multiple games. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments, okay? So right now, we're gonna go ahead and give him a measure on the measure stick, and we'll size him up with a couple characters just to get a look before we start doing the articulation and everything else. So let's go ahead and roll him off the stand, and let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and measure him up. We'll start with the inches side, of course. I always like to measure my figures in the stances, you know, not straight up. I like them standing up, and then I measure them. So that's how I do it. So you're looking at 6 inches, right? Maybe a little over, a little above. I'm seeing 6, right? On the inches, okay? So let's go for the centimeter side. All right. We're looking at right at 15 centimeters, right? Maybe a little over, okay? That's where he's at, and that's where he's standing. Okay, so let's take a look at this packaging. This is pretty cool to me because I like the way the arcade style looks to it. They have that with the buttons, and then you see the life on there. That's not bad. Also, you're looking at all the art on the side work with the other Street Fighters. You see their Vega there. Also, you see on this side, you'll see V-Long, Cammy, and Rue as well. And you have your Street Fighter logos there as well. But I do like the fact that the plastic in the accessory inside the bubble is pretty nice because you can put these guys back in and have the package as is once they're put in. It's not a one and done packaging to where you put them in and then you try to and it tears the packaging up and it doesn't look good. Also, if you look very closely in the background, if you see the color there, there's going to be a mini diorama back there for photos. So if you want to get a couple Street Fighter action figures together, you can put them together, sit them by the bench, sit them by whatever's in the background there, and you can do some great poses with those guys. But that should do it for the box. And if you want to read this on the bottom, you can go ahead and read that, pause it, and we can get to talking about it. That's it. Okay, so I wanted to show you that you do have this mini diorama inside the packaging. Quite hard to get out if you don't want to tear up the box, but you can get it out without ripping it away. But it looks like it's enough for maybe one figure, maybe two, doing something, maybe a couple poses. But you see it there, just like in the video game, the elephant in the background of the painting, that is there. Just wanted to show you that. If you wanted to put DHALSIM in there and do some poses and take some pictures, you have that. Okay, so let's size him up. All right, we'll put Rue here. There he is. All right, and we'll do Chun-Li. These are all in the same Jada line, right? You can see that the figures scale very well with each other, being on the same line. So let's throw a big guy in the mix. My favorite, we know who he is. So let's go ahead and throw him in there in the background, just to give you an idea of how these figures are, right? Okay, because Juggernaut scales very well with 1/12 figures, 6-inch, 7-inch figures. He does very well with that. So just looking at him with them, it does look pretty decent. So you get the idea. Okay, so let's take a look at the accessories. We'll start with the head sculpt. We know he has the head sculpt there and the additional hands. We'll go over those during articulations. Well, let's check out the first of the piece counts. Okay, so this is the head sculpt on the ball and socket, of course, and you see the mold of the brown color. Then you're going to have your red stripes going across the head. There, you're just basic red paint, and it'll finish off in the middle of the back of the head there, right? Okay, white dot there. You'll have white eyes, of course, from the cheek all the way down to the ears. You'll have a stripe on each side. Then you'll have the smaller stripe on the face going to the cheek from the nose all the way down to the jawline, right? Okay, and that's the same on both sides there. And if you're looking at the ear sculpting, which is pretty good, I think, very detailed, then you'll have the silver loop going through the ear, which is movable, okay? And that's the same on both sides there. But the mouth itself with the white teeth and the red tongue, you'll have some glossing effect pertaining to saliva in the mouth, which is pretty detailed, and I do like that. So the head sculpt is not bad at all. I think it looks like the character and it's spot on. Not a bad job. Okay, so let's take a look at the pairs of hands. You can see the pair of hands he has now. They're more of a relaxed kind of fit on his hand there. Let's take a look at these. These are flat-handed, and they have a little gloss to them, which was kind of strange to me to see this gloss, but you see it there. And there's detail on the palm and fingers on this side, not so much on this side, pretty bland. But if you look here, you're gonna have a lot of detail on the palms, and then your latch is there. So let's take a look at the second hand. It's gonna be the exact same concept. Very little detail, some vein work on top of the hand. That's okay. And you're gonna have a very gloss finish, but there's a little bit more detail on the palm, I think. And there you have it for those. So let's take a look at his stretching effects. And we're gonna look at the stretching effects. We'll start with the hands first. They're more punch hands, and they can be interchangeables at the end. But let's take a look. So you do see the stretching effect of the arms, right? Muscles, the mold, and then you're gonna have your attachments there, which are peg systems, right? Okay, there's your punch hand, and there is your larger loop, which is loose and it can come off. That's pretty nice. Then you're gonna have this of his gauntlet. That gauntlet is just been carved out and just painted yellow. Nothing really crazy on that. It's not one that comes off or has been put on. It's just some paint from the mold itself and carved, and then it was painted a yellowish color, right? And there goes your punch hand from the long stretch, right? See that? Punch. Okay. All right. Loose gauntlet there. I wouldn't call it a gauntlet, but it is a ring, a jewelry accessory on his hand, right? On his wrist, right? Okay. Let's take a look at the second one. The second one is just the same. It's just on the opposite side, and it doesn't look any different, especially being that it has the same stretch, has the same punch hand, which the punch hands are not detailed, just very glossy, and a shape of a hand. You might have some knuckle effect, maybe some effects here, but it's okay. It's not that great. And the painting on the gauntlet is not that great because it bends. As you can see, that is just very, very tacky on that part. They could have used a real gauntlet with the real movement of the ring here. That would have been cool, but they did not do that. Okay, and there goes your peg system there, right? And you got it. So let's take a look at the stretch effects that go on his feet. Okay, so the feet effect, you see that stretching just like the arms, looks good. Then you have your system that pegs in to his leg, pegs on in, right? More of a socket there. And then, you know, we talked about before about this terrible paint job as a gauntlet on the feet or the ankles, just like the wrist. I think it's terrible. It's just some really cheap paint to me. If you look at that closely, that is very cheap paint. Can scuff off. Once it bends, you can see that it kind of breaks away from when it bending. That wasn't a good job on that. Give me a real gauntlet, or give me something that's not attached, that wasn't attached to this mold and painted over. To me, that's not great. Then you see the feet, almost the same as the hands. Got the bending there. It's just it's not detailed that well, but it's good enough for the figure itself, okay? And there you go for that. You got your muscles there, all right? So let's look at the second one. It's going to be the same thing, just on the other side. There is nothing different at all. You have your cheap paint of yellow there, scuffing away. Then you have your semi-detailed feet. I say it's real flexible though, but it's okay. It's not that great to me. And then you have your muscles retaining to the legs here, but the stretching effect is cool. Once you put it on figure, it should look all right. Okay, so let's say that we have some more accessories, which we do, which I think that we're gonna need. So it's gonna be your stand. Your stand is very little. It's a two-piece. This comes out, you put it in, but you're gonna need this because when he does his poses, his kicks, you're gonna need a stand because it won't be able to stand up on its own, I'm pretty sure. And that is gonna do it for the accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at the figure up close and look at him. Okay, so looking at the figure, it feels great. We'll show some poses of it doing some stances. You know, when he's doing his thing, how well does he stand when he's kicking? How well does he move? Whatnot. We'll do all that, okay? But first, let's take a look at the figure up close. Okay, so we talked about the accessories and whatnot. So let's look at that head sculpt, the second one. You see him there. We know about the red paint. We know about the earrings. and we know about the ball and socket, right? Okay, so let's look at the necklace here. The necklace is actually movable. It moves. That is really cool. So it does come off. If you take the head off, this could come off, which is nice. So that's flexible. We do like that. We know the earrings are flexible. They do move as well. Pretty cool on that. So the body of the figure does have the muscular proportions right, I think. I don't think it's too bulky of a figure, and it's not heavy as well. I think that the muscle proportions are right because he's really kind of a real slim, real lean guy, had a real thin waist. So that looks good. If you look in the video game, you're going to see that the colors are pretty on with the yellow and the brown roping that holds his shorts up, the yellow shorts, the gauntlets, all that's pretty spot on. I mean, there's in his head, the lines on his head, all that's pretty spot on. White eyes, that looks good. His feet, the gauntlets, all that stuff looks good, just like the video game. Like I said, it's hard to tell because it's so pixelated, but if you look at the pixelation, it's pretty spot on to me. I do like the way it looks. I think you'll get great poses out of it. The only thing that is missing is a face that shows the yoga flame coming out of his mouth. That will be good to me. I think it's missing that. But other than that, with the moving gauntlets, I mean the moving rings on his hand, that's good. Besides the painted on gauntlets, I don't like. But the figure itself looks good. It's very proportioned. I don't know what they use for the figure. I think this is maybe it's its own accessories. I don't think it's been reused, but if so, they did a good job on hiding it. Okay, so that looks good on the appearance. All right, let's step into that articulation. Okay, so let's step into that articulation, that POA. All right, so the figure to me, it does look good. I know you guys think it looks okay as well. Not bad. Not bad at all, Jada Toys. Okay, so let's look at the head. The head movement is on a latch system that is a ball and socket, and it has a latch system inside as well. You can see there the latch system is actually pivoting in the neck going into the chest, which is pretty awesome. So it makes the movements good with the ball and socket, I think. So you stick it on there if you can get it on. Okay, so you're gonna have these great movements. I mean, check it out. So look at the movements. So the movements are very good. I mean, look at that. And why don't they do this with all figures? I don't know. But that is great. He's looking down. Did I drop that? Did I? Okay, that's not mine. And he looks up fairly well. These are going to be great poses with him, especially how flexible he is. So that is great. So there's no limitations in this guy's movement. Great job on that. 100% Jada Toys. Awesome. So we know the necklace is movable. It moves around and it can come on. If you take the head off, it comes off. The earrings are also flexible as well. They are in the ear holes, so they do move as well. Okay, right? So let's take a look at what his arms do. In terms of his arms, you have these motions that are in his on his arms here, and they do have a kind of moving motions inside there, right? Not much play, but it does enough. Okay, you will have the latch system here, right? Your latch goes there with the latch, and it also rotates all the way around with no issue. You can have it out. Also rotates as well for upper movements. Okay, you do have your bicep swivel in the arm. All right, there you go. Bicep swivel helps with some movements that you're trying to do, especially with a flexible guy like this. And your double joint is only a joint itself. It's not double jointed because I can't put it in all the way. So you just have the one joint there. That's okay. Kind of disappointing on that. I would like to see him have that double joint in. That would be great. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the double joint is actually spread out. So if you look at it closely, you have the joint here and joint here. Usually just bends here in the elbow, but you can see that it's bending in these sections here. So it's a wide latch. Okay, so that's not bad. Also, you're gonna have your rotating hands with your rings moving, and they have latches of their own, right? Okay, so that's the same on both sides of the figure. Let's check the middle. So the middle can rotate. It doesn't seem like it rotates. It seems like there's mechanics inside there that limit it from rotating all around, but you can move it just as so. See there, it kind of clicks, but I just hear stuff in there. I'm not sure that mechanics, I'm messing with the mechanics or what, but it does move. I think that's all you need. I don't think you need them rotating all the way around. That would be pointless, but you have that. Okay, so that's in the top of his chest. Is just moves a little bit, but the bottom is that clicking, rotating noise that I hear. Okay, so that's what you have there. Okay, so on the flies here, you're gonna have the dumbbell joints here. You see the dumbbell joints? That's what helps them fly up. It's not flies, but the dumbbell joints help them fly, right? We know that, okay? And you're gonna have a little bit of movement there. Of course, you have your thigh swivel, which is nice. Okay, thigh swivel is there. Then you'll have your double latch here, like your spreaded latch here and there. There you go. And also, you'll have your rotations in the feet, which start in the ankle area, not in the feet. Over here in the ankle, at the bottom of the calf, it rotates. Then you'll have it's on a rocker. Okay. Then your lat system, of course. There you go. Okay, and that's the same on both sides of the figure. So the articulation is good enough for the figure. I like to see when I put him in poses, how it would look with him doing his moves. What do you guys think? Okay. Okay, for the pros and cons, we'll start with the cons. For me, I think he should have... he does have enough accessories, but just one more accessory will be the yoga flame coming out of his mouth. That's it. For the pros, I like the way it looks. Looks very well. Stands very well. I love the accessories. Love the look of the character. The paint job is good. And I do like the movements. I mean, the articulation is great. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and give the figure a 4 out of 5 stars. Guys, let me know what your stars are. And you guessed it. You can get it at BigBadToyStore.com. Just check out BigBadToyStore.com. So what are you waiting for? Check them out. And this brings us to the end of our video. If you found the video informational or you just simply enjoyed watching, please hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe button. And as always, this has been another toy review. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.